For an in-depth look, we're joined by Kathleen Kingsbury. She is the deputy editorial page editor at the New York Times. Katie, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Let's start with the Korean summit, which the Times called a carefully choreographed diplomatic dance. Is there the potential for real progress here, or are there just a lot of optics at work?
Yeah, I think everyone wants to be cautiously optimistic at this point. We know that the North Koreans especially are great at theater and choreography, and that's what we saw on Friday. But we really do want to hold out hope of a nuclear-free Korea, and we want to see peace in that region. And so I think, there's still a lot of information to come, but right now it's good to celebrate this development.
So what was President Trump hoping would come out of this, in particular as his summit with Kim Jong-un approaches in the coming weeks?
Yeah, I think the White House definitely sees this as a victory. I think that, however, the North Koreans have spent a lot of time developing this weapons program. The idea that they're going to give it up wholesale right away is probably not going to happen. But I do think that this sets the groundwork for the president to go and meet with them and to make some serious demands.
I want to talk about Rear Admiral Ronny Jackson, who withdrew his name as a nominee for Secretary of Veterans Affairs. How significant a setback do you think that is for the White House?
I think it is actually a major setback. I think that one of the things that have gotten lost in the questions around Dr. Jackson's conduct is the question of why was he ever appointed to this position, nominated to this position to begin with? The reality is that he had no qualifications beyond being in the military and being a doctor. He had no management experience, and he was going to be running one of the largest healthcare systems in the country, overseeing the care of veterans. And so I think that this is part of a pattern, a troubling pattern that we see from this White House that doesn't seem to vet its candidates it puts forward for large jobs, and that seems to often not really consider the job that they're appointing that person to before naming them. And I think it's interesting that we still don't know who the next nominee is going to be to run the VA. It's a hugely important organization, and at this point, it's had no leadership for several months now.
Let's move on to that House Intel Committee's report and its release. 250 pages. The Democrats are not happy about it. They released their own minority report. What can you tell us about really what came out of this?
Well, I don't know that there are any huge major developments that came from this. The report was heavily redacted. In fact, that's something that the Republicans criticized it for. We found some small new details about the behavior of Michael Flynn, for instance. But otherwise, I think even, especially given the redacted state of it, it became clear that this report hadn't asked very tough questions about the president's conduct and his associates' conduct. I think that it just reinforces a couple of things. One is that it concluded that there had been Russian meddling in the election. I mean, that's a major question. What are we going to do to make sure that that doesn't happen in 2018 and 2020? And then it also just reinforces the importance. I know the president disagrees, but it really reinforces the importance of having special counsel Mueller doing his investigation and, looking into these really important questions about interference by the Russians in the election.
Kathleen Kingsbury with the New York Times. Thanks, Katie. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.